Hey guys, so a couple of weeks ago for Apogee, the course that I'm taking, I did this challenge. It's called the Paperclip Challenge. As you can see on the screen right here, I have a paperclip. So this is it's an interesting challenge. So you start with a paperclip, and then you have to trade up, and you trade until you have a bigger or better object than the paperclip. And so it sounds like a tough challenge. And I wasn't sure where to do it because online, I don't know if there's online trading. And so the Apogee course that I'm taking, they tested the original class of Apogee members and they did it at a mall. And so I'm like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. So I go with my dad to the mall on a Saturday and I started asking random people. So the first guy I asked, he didn't have anything on him, just his wallet and his car keys, which he's not going to give me. So it was like, it took me a while though. It took me a long time to build up the courage to ask this guy. And my dad's like, okay, set a goal. And so my goal was I want to ask three or four people in this store that we were in. So I asked that guy, and then I asked another guy, and he didn't have anything on him either, but he's like, "Hey, go find my wife." And so he shows me to his wife, and his wife digs around in her pocketbook, and she finds this. So now I have a pen. So that is a trade up. Still not very, it's not really useful yet because pens are pretty common objects. But so then I asked another dude. He looked at me like I was nuts, which it was just funny. And he said, "No way. I'm not nothing. I'm not giving you anything." And he walks away. And then I tried to ask a lady that worked at the store, but that didn't work out because she needed to go answer a bunch of phone calls. And so, so I reached my goal. I asked three people, and I started to ask a fourth, but she wasn't able to answer. So then we move on to a different store. And I'd previously been asking mostly guys. My dad's like, well, you should ask ladies because they have, they have pocketbooks, which fits more than the dude's wallet that could have stuff in it. And then B, they might actually feel bad that you have to walk around and ask people for random stuff. So I went into the store and started set a goal that I was going to ask at least three girls to trade something. And so I asked a lady, and she said that she'd just cleaned out her pocketbook and there was nothing to trade up. And I have a pen now, so it's getting each time you trade up, it gets progressively harder to get something else. And so I asked another lady, and nothing again. And then finally, I asked this lady, and it took me a while. I had trouble finding people to ask because the store was pretty quiet. I'd walked around the entire store, and so I asked this lady, and she's like, "You have to ask people? Man, that's stuck. That sucks." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just walking around asking random people." And she's like, "Well, I don't have anything in my pocketbook, but I can take you out to my car and I might have something out there." And I was with my dad at the time, and he was out browsing through the store while I did my thing. And so I was like, I gotta go tell my dad, and then we can run out to the car. And so I ran around really stressed because I couldn't find my dad. Took me a while, but I eventually found him. And when I came back, and she's like, she doesn't want to go out in her car anymore. She's like, "Can I just buy you something from in here?" And so I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes and picks a random thing off the shelf, and this is what I ended up with. The world's best tasting gummies. It's gigantic. This bag is bigger than my head. It's huge. It's a pretty funny story. I, after some debate, decided to call it a day. That lady was really nice, and I really appreciated it. It was an interesting lesson because it wasn't half as bad as I thought it was going to be. And like, I don't know, I don't love talking to people, so walking around a store and asking random people for stuff if they want to trade, that doesn't sound very fun to me. So it was a cool, interesting, and very, very challenging challenge for the Apogee program.